whoever she brings to the suites or whatever they're called.
Fantasy suite.
Fantasy suites, which is a great thing for them to call it that when in really it's just you go into
box.
you just fucking up.
Welcome to the fuck box. That'll be on our show.
That'll be the name of the show.
Let's just fuck, and then it's called the fuck box.
The fuck box, from simp to pimp to king.
You're listening to Don't Take Bullshit from Fuckers with your hosts Greg Barrett and Kane Holloway.
Welcome to Don't Take Bullshit from Fuckers.
That's
My name's
right.
Greg Barron. I'm going
Kane
first
Holloway.
today.
You go first.
I'm hyped up today.
You are hyped.
Yeah.
You got a nice hat on.
Yeah, I changed my I'm off of Adderall and onto Ritalin, so things are good.
Wow. Focus.
Yeah, I'm focused, and I've got a lot of clarity. You're Kane Holloway.
That's me.
That's producer Pat.
Right over there.
All right.
Yeah, and we're all here, man.
Yeah, we're ready to do a show.
We're excited about it.
Yeah, it's 197.
Yep.
The reason we know that, we don't typically say what number we're on,
No,
but
we don't.
the reason we know that is because we got an announcement for you
Yeah,
guys.
who wants to make the announcement?
I think Pat should do it.
All right.
Well, we're coming up on 200 very soon. We've decided we're going to sunset the Don't Take Bullshit from Fuckers show, and we're going to retool it. We'll be back.
Yeah.
Something new.
Something new.
Something new.
We're going to come back with something new. We've enjoyed doing this show, and you guys have enjoyed it to a point, and we all agreed maybe we've done it.
Yeah, we did the thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes a show needs to end.
Yeah, like Meme should have stopped episode 120.
Yeah. We ran out of steam with that.
But also, I think there's a lot of people in the relationship space. There's just other things that Kane and I think, are better at talking about and want to talk about. We want to expand the show and open it up we want to have a female presence on the next show, whether it is a permanent host or a new co-host.
Yeah.
You know, we just want that voice on the show. And quite frankly, you're just not asking us questions.
You guys have run out of questions for us.
Yeah.
Either we've helped you and we're done giving advice altogether.
Right.
Like there doesn't need to be a relationship show anymore because our show was so successful at giving advice. Let me,
Yeah.
we're so successful at giving advice, you don't need to ask any more advice.
Yeah. And there are so many people doing advice shows.
Yes.
And
I'm doing a live version of an advice show.
Yeah, but that's pretty cool. I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
I've never been to a comedy club where I've been to comedy shows where the comedian will end the show and then ask for questions.
Yeah.
But I've never seen a show sort of lean into like the talk show kind of like, let's do questions about relationship.
Yeah.
Like I think it's a really cool idea.
It's a blast. It's probably the most fun if you like the silly aspects of Don't Take Bullshit from Fuckers, like when we veer away from the serious tone of some of our advice, and you just want the silly part of it. That's what Going Dutch really truly is. And if you haven't seen a Going Dutch show, please come out. Greg is going to come out, and so is Pat, and they're going to be a part of a future Going Dutch show. But yeah, if you
We're going to ride down together.
Yes.
In my car.
Yes.
And we're going to listen to punk rock
Yeah, I can't.
the whole way.
It's going to be great.
We're going to be blown out by the time. So Pat sent me, I asked him to make, I warming up before a show, I like to pace and I like to listen to aggressive music. The more aggressive, the better, the more chaotic.
Yeah.
Like where it literally sounds like people just throwing chairs at each other.
Sure.
Like, or plates breaking or something like that. Like I really like it because I like to clear the space in my head.
Yeah.
And so Pat's far more punk rock than I am. And, like I'm punk rock, like I like the Hives. Pat's punk rock where he likes things that like were recorded poorly. Where the band, there's no way they could have lived past their second record. They're playing with the vengeance that feels like they're being held at gunpoint. Pat's last band plays so fast they can't catch up with themselves. It's so aggressive. It almost isn't aggressive anymore. It's so
They've
fast.
moved around.
It's so fast. It's fucking crazy. Like, I'm like, this song could have been done at half speed and it would have been a punk song.
Yeah.
This is something else.
Yeah, this is chaos.
It's like they're chasing the drummer.
Yeah.
It's just fucking insane. And we'll play some on when we're prepared on a different show, or maybe Pat will play a song on the way out on this one. But and what was that band was called?
Family Secrets.
Family Secrets. Yeah.
What the fuck? Your entire description
Yeah.
sounds like Christmas at my house.
Yes. I mean, it
Holy
very well
shit.
could be. It's so funny, given, and also listening to it now in context to what music is now. So my daughters and the girls, my wife and daughters, went to Taylor Swift on, I don't know, Tuesday night or whatever.
Sure. Nice.
Okay.
And you know, that's when I was flying home from Newark, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
There were girls in Taylor Swift stuff flying out for these shows.
Oh, wow.
And then when I got there were girls meeting girls at the airport, hugging and crying,
Yeah.
because they were all going to go to Taylor Swift. Like, she's a force to be reckoned with.
Of course.
But also, the biggest people in music now are women.
Yeah.
The biggest.
Absolutely.
I mean, I can't think of a man. Maybe Harry Styles
Yes.
and The Weeknd.
Right.
Maybe
Yeah.
those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's
maybe.
But it's really Taylor Swift and Billie Eilish and Phoebe Bridgers, and that's the sound of music right now. But so when you listen to this, and it is very male, punk rock music.
Yeah.
It sounds so lost. It feels like what is this? It's so crazy, and I love it.
The
I
song
love it so
itself is
much.
asking for directions aggressively.
But
So mad.
like, I would pay $1,000 to see one of Pat's bands open for Taylor Swift. Like, I would love to see all of these women, mostly women,
Yeah.
and then boyfriends and dads
Yeah.
at a Taylor Swift concert, 70,000 strong, SoFi.
Yeah.
Put on a different opening band so that they stay, and then
Yeah.
put Pat's band on.
I love it. It would be like the music version of Oppenheimer.
It sounds like one big amp being pushed over. Like, it would confuse people so much.
Yeah.
Because I've heard these people, like, my daughters have never really heard punk rock.
Ah.
It's never come up for them. It's not in there. You know, they've heard like the classic punk rock, like the stuff that we all, you know, the Ramones and the Pistols and all that kind of stuff. But they've never listened to it.
Yeah.
And they've never listened to, like, the Ramones and the Pistols are pop bands compared to what Pat plays in.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
And
these
I've never
guys are
heard it.
aggressively asking not really to be heard.
Yeah.
By the masses.
True.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like when we wanted alternate versions of the "What Does This Mean" theme song, the first one Pat made,
Yeah.
was the scariest metal version of a song I think I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Where he, "What does this mean?" was so scary, and then at the same time, because Pat is so sweet. Remember when he got someone was trying to steal his motorcycle, and then we heard his version of the story where he screamed at a guy, "Stop taking my motorcycle!" And he scared that guy away. That guy scampered away like a bear was chasing after
Yeah.
him. To then think about that's what Pat's life is like when he's not listening to music. Then to think about the music you do listen to. It's pure insanity in your head. The fact that you're so sweet. Look at it, like you see how sweet he is in general. The music you listen to and the clothes you're wearing now. I mean, you're an anomaly.
Yeah.
And the music is scary.
And Pat's bass playing.
Yeah.
And he's playing bass for these bands. What the fuck? Where does this come from? This scary metal guy come from?
I was bullied a lot as a little kid.
So was I.
Were you really?
Yeah, I was a nerd in grade school. Like big glasses, science geek.
Were you small?
Yeah, very small.
Science
very
geek?
Small. Yeah.
You're like a metal Peter Parker.
And that led to you listening to aggressive music?
Yeah. I was just looking for something to call my own, was flipping through the radio dial and landed on a college station that was playing like super hardcore punk. And I was
Do you
like,
remember what it was?
It was called Fast and Loud on WNUR radio in Evanston, Illinois. And the DJ Rodney had great taste in music, introduced me to bands that I am listening to this day. Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I got into it later. I started out like really glam. I've liked every genre.
Yeah.
I think I really liked it, and then but I miss punk kinda. Like I was playing guitar, but I was listening to Van Halen, but punk was happening.
Okay.
But I was really going down that thing, and then I went and saw X, and I was
yeah.
like, oh wait a minute,
Yeah.
this is so much.
Will you send me some?
Sure.
Send me some because I have a long drive back.
Oh my God, he'll send you some. Like I asked him to make me mix. At 3 hours and 58 minutes worth of music.
Holy Christ.
Yeah, and I put it all in my. It took me a while to figure out how to get it in my computer, and I listened to it. And Mira walked upstairs, and she was just like, "What the fuck are you listening to?"
I'm mad.
And you got to imagine 3 hours of punk music. The songs are like a minute and a half long. That's like 900 songs.
Oh yeah, no, there's no hook, and you don't come away humming anything because it's just like you've been bludgeoned. So you don't come away going, oh, that was beautiful. You're like, I mean, no, that's not true. And some of the bands, like the band we talked about, what I texted you about,
Busy Signals.
Busy Signals, are like they're like Blondie.
Yeah,
you know,
very
like
Blondie.
they're like and some of it's a little bit more gettable, but or at least like but some of it is you're like, man, this guy's furious. And it's kind of nice. It's kind of great.
You know, it's funny. It's like almost like Pat is the definition of the show. Don't take bullshit from fuckers. Like if you were to listen to the show overall, you look at the sign, this red, black and white alt-right logo, and then you're like, oh, it's called "Don't Take Bullshit from Fuckers." What are we gonna like? What is the shit we're gonna hear? And then you come in, and it's us three going like, hey guys, let's just take women seriously from now on. Huh?
Yeah.
Why don't we give them a break? Barbie's a good movie.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think that's Pat. You know, like overall, you don't know what you're getting when you're about to experience Pat. So Pat himself is Don't Take Bullshit. What I'm saying is when the show's over, Pat's no longer going to be a part of it.
He can go off with his alpha male music
Just
and
fuck
his
right off.
motorcycle fighting attitude. He's beating up people in grocery stores.
That's true. He's always getting into fights.
Yeah,
Out of the three of us, Pat.
eating food off women. The kind of
He is.
Yeah, I mean the kind of aggro.
You're like what's his name from A Clockwork Orange? You're the fucking lead in A Clockwork Orange.
Yeah,
You're just
take
beating your crew up with canes and
Take your Theo Von t-shirt.
No,
Get out of here.
Oh no.
curb stomping homeless people.
Oh God.
Coming on this show like, I got a girlfriend. How? Just
True.
yeah. So we are in the midst of figuring out the new show. It's going to be I think a punk version, a new punk version of this show. I think punk rap rock version, early 2000s. You guys remember when Jay-Z and what's that band? They mushed together their music. You remember?
I don't know, but there was really.
Who was it? Metallica. No, it was Jay-Z.
Yeah.
No, not Metallica. No. It was like, in the end, it doesn't. Remember that band?
Well, there was that.
Linkin Park.
Oh my God.
That's what it was. It was Linkin Park. So we'll be a little bit of that. We'll be Jay-Z and Linkin Park when they got together. What do you think?
I mean, I don't. Yeah, sure.
I don't like when you guys bond. I just don't like it.
When Pat and I are on the same page.
I don't like when you guys, you guys have hooked in on
Pat
something.
and I are a little bit more similar
True.
in probably a little bit in age.
Sure.
In what we came through culturally.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're a young man.
Well, he also was a fan of you
True.
before he even.
I was a fan of him as soon as I met him.
I know. He's a sweetheart.
Yep, I met him. Did we meet in Chicago?
I think we met in San Francisco at a Walking the Room show.
What, during like a festival?
Yeah. It was a San Francisco Sketch Fest. That was the first
Okay.
time I met you in person.
And then you came out. I remember you came out when I was playing in Chicago.
Yep, absolutely. Every time.
Did you ever go back to New York to the?
I never made it to the Bell House shows, no, but I was at all the LA podcast festivals.
The podcast festivals.
Yeah, for sure.
You were at the San Francisco show?
Nice.
But didn't I meet you at Meltdown?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we met.
Tiger Lily.
Oh, Tiger Lily. Oh, was that just a stand-up night?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Was that Maria Bamford, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't Tiger Lily Maria Bamford and
Well, Melissa. What's her last name?
I don't remember.
Melinda Hill.
Melinda Hill.
Oh, Melinda.
Melinda Hill.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jazz and the twin sisters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good show. Okay.
Aaron, what was the name of the podcast you said earlier? The Alpha one?
It's called Alpha's Only Alpha's Only Club from Simp to Pimp.
So we were as we're contemplating, like, oh, what we would call it, what's the name we were thinking, and we came up with some ideas, nothing to do with being an alpha male. But then Aaron hit us with, there's a show called this, Alpha Males from Simp to Pimp.
Alpha's Only Club
Alpha's Only Club.
from Simp to Pimp.
What if we just stole that? What if that was the new show?
I love it.
And we were Alpha's Only from Simp to Pimp. Only, and then we just say, but ours is better. That's the whole title.
But ours is better. Like we just, yeah. I am going to listen to it.
From pimp to king, like we just keep it going. You listen to that first show, you go from pimp, now you're a king. You would rather be a king, right? Short king, tall king, old king.
Yeah. It's so weird how the world is changing really rapidly and how all of the things associated with alpha male behavior become suspect. And you're watching The Bachelor, which is a cis-normative show about getting married. Mm-hmm. And it's and guys wanting a woman to be their queen. Like, it's so fucking dated.
Yeah.
And it's getting more dated by the second.
Yes.
It almost seems absurd.
Terrible.
Not that there's anything, not that marriage is going to go away. It isn't. I think the way people marry will be different. Mm-hmm. The language will be different.
Yes.
The reasons might even be different.
Uh-huh.
But not in women chase men, kind of like the way that it's set up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you think about it, the most puritanical show on television is Too Hot to Handle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they're asking people not to address their sexual feelings.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying, don't fuck.
Yeah.
It's wrong to fuck. And I used to sort of agree it's wrong to fuck right away. But then I watch these people go through all this bullshit when I know they all just want to fuck.
Yeah.
And then they're all pretending to be evolved.
Yes.
And they haven't learned a fucking thing.
Yes.
Because they're just not old enough.
No.
And they haven't had enough experience.
Absolutely not.
And there should be one that's called Let's Just Fuck. And it's just 4 or 8 weeks of fucking.
But it has to be ugly people that don't want to fuck each other.
Could be that.
Yeah.
Or it could just be, let's just see what happened. Let's just fuck.
Let's just fuck. Great show. Great show idea. My favorite character on, or I guess person, on Too Hot to Handle is Louis. Like the hottest guy in the thing, in the house, and all the women thirst after him, and all the women are so incredibly beautiful, and yet they try really hard to get this guy, and they'll do everything to get him to break his current thing he has with this girl that he just met. And what I like most about him is he is pretty much a roadmap for all young men who are ever put in this position. Because I'm noticing that hot people love cheating on each other. You ever notice how everyone in their little when they're talking about their life and why they are on Too Hot to Handle to begin with, and why they don't go to relationships and why they're a fuck boy or a fuck girl, is because they tried to trust somebody that they loved, and then they got cheated on, and the person they got cheated on with was super hot, and the person they cheated on them with was also crazy hot. Mm-hmm. Hot people just, they don't understand what it's like to grow up fat and nerdy and dumb and bald. Like, they don't know what it's like when they're just so beautiful. And so they're like, we can have everything. Whereas ugly people got to latch on to whoever comes their way, you know?
Well,
or if you have to develop a personality, you know, when you were like shit and then you had a glow up.
It's when you're that good looking, it's like every day somebody's asking you, do you want a Christmas present?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
How
every
can you
person
not?
is a Christmas present. So it's hard
Yes.
to turn down a brand new Christmas present.
Of course.
Even though you got one yesterday.
Of course. And I like, it's like if young men are watching that show, look at Louis. Look at how Louis does not think about the future at all. At no point does Louis ever think to himself, I probably shouldn't do this because the repercussions that'll happen are going to be dire. I got to then either lie, which is never going to work. There's no way you're going to be a good enough liar to ever get away with anything, especially since they're in a cramped space and everyone's talking to each other, or you're going to have to face the consequences, which he never does. He never wants to face them. He thinks they'll all just go away if he doesn't say anything. And yet, he keeps getting opportunities to cheat, and he does. He continues to do it. It's so great.
He goes on a date with they bring a new person onto the beach, and it's this woman who's got super big boobs.
Oh, yeah.
And so he's trying to be cool because he's with this other incredibly beautiful
Oh, my God,
woman.
she's so gorgeous.
Yeah, that woman's really beautiful.
Oh.
And this woman says, do you want to touch my boobs? And of course, the answer is, even if I'm with somebody, sure.
Yes, I would love to touch you. Boobs are great.
And then later on, she goes to be like, I can't believe that he touched my boobs.
I know.
and also, like, touching boobs it's not like he actually kissed her.
No, he didn't kiss her.
It wasn't intimate, really. It was almost like what's it called? Archaeological. It was like he dusted off a rock and, oh, look at this, and then just grabbed it. Like he didn't fuck her, he didn't kiss her, he didn't do anything else. He just grabbed her boobs and he said they were nice.
Yeah,
and they looked nice.
that's true.
You know,
Grabbing boobs to a certain degree, like if you're in a relationship and you're like I've had friends who've gotten boob jobs, and then we'll be sitting around and they'll be so excited that about their new boobs that they'll whip their shirt off, and then they'll be like, you guys have to touch them. And so as a couple, you're sitting there touching your friend's boobs going, they're nice, great. And it's like medical. You're not even really doing anything. You're just sort of like, hey, congratulations. Or it's like they got a baby or a puppy and you're like, you want to hold them? And you're just sort of like, mm-hmm. One's heavier than the other.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, there's something about that like when it happened, I just remember thinking like, don't touch it. I thought too at the time, look, man, just say no and then go and touch go touch her boobs when you get back. Just go, I'm all charged up. Can I touch your oh wait, that's a rule break, so you probably can't do that. But just go. It's such a fleeting thing. It's like at a certain point, it's like you've touched boobs. And I know, like, as a guy, you're like, no, but they're right there. I should touch those boobs. Just wait, and you'll probably touch some boobs when you
What's
get back.
beautiful about this show is they've gotten people on there that are so stupid that they can't, in the moment, go, I'm being filmed. This is a trap.
Yeah.
They are so dumb.
There's a cameraman.
Yeah.
Everybody talks to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is secret.
Yeah.
Not on Love Island, not on The Bachelor.
Mm-mm.
Like, there's no secrets.
Yeah.
And you're being filmed.
Yeah. Just fucking.
But he's so dumb.
He's so dumb.
He really is dumb.
He is.
Yeah.
He looks like he's super sweet, but he's just one of those like nice guy fuckboys where he's like, I'm hot, I'm fun to be around, but I'm just gonna kind of do whatever. He's like a dog. He's like a dog in that way.
I like the guy, but he didn't get anybody. But he was the guy who was really ugly and nerdy his whole life, and then he had a glow up.
Yeah, that guy. I loved him too.
I wanted him to meet somebody.
Dre. It was Dre.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted Dre to he was funny.
Yeah, he was funny.
He was Detective Dre.
Yeah.
I loved him a lot.
Yeah.
This was a good season of Too Hot to Handle. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it more than I think I did. I look forward to it every time it's out. I'm like, this, Love is Blind, Ultimatum. As long as there's chaos. You know what I mean?
I love the chaos.
The chaos is great. Let's keep the chaos going.
Yeah, I get really bored at the end. Like, I've never watched the end of a Love Island because I don't care who wins.
Yeah, you just want
I
to
like it
start.
when they bring in new people.
Mhm.
I like how ridiculously hot people are.
I love it.
Or how funny they are, how stupid they are, or how, weird they are. when they're finally in love, I'm like, I don't care.
I know.
Like, I could give a shit on The Bachelor. Like, I don't care.
Yeah. When they're still like I haven't seen the new with Charity yet, but of whatever Charity, whoever she brings to the suites or whatever they're called,
Fantasy suite.
fantasy suites,
Uh-huh.
which is a great thing for them to call it that when in really it's just
A
you go
fuck
into
box.
you just fucking up.
Welcome to the fuck box. That'll be on our show.
That'll be the name of the show.
Let's just fuck, and then it's called the fuck box.
The fuck box, from simp to pimp to king.
Oh my God.
Paige Brianna thought it would be funny. This is actually such a funny idea because AI is coming and trying to control the earth. It's Skynet, it's Terminator happening right in front of our eyes, and we don't seem to check out the warning signs, just like everybody in the Terminator franchise. Even James Cameron has come out and said, guys, I'm literally trying to tell you with the Terminator franchise that this is the end of us all. So maybe we should hold back on AI, but we haven't. And so far, this show has now integrated AI into it because Paige.
Oh, did I? I didn't even tell you. So my, I was at dinner with my family, and I was saying I have to write a short bio for my book.
Yes, you did. You told us this.
Right, and we did the AI one.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so now it's being used.
You use the AI chat. Yeah, because you read it back to it's fucking good.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I did tell you guys that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now that's a thing.
So
And
the intro to your new book.
Yeah. You know what Mighty does is she takes all of her papers. I think I told you this too.
Yeah.
And has them read.
Yeah.
And graded by ChatGPT.
Who then the teachers give it
Better grades.
better grades.
Yes. ChatGPT is more discerning,
Yeah, really.
smarter.
You could do better. Yeah, it's AI. Of course it is.
Here's a B-. I got an A+.
Humans are dumb. My teacher's stupid. So Paige fucking wrote, she goes, hey guys, while listening to this week's podcast, I decided to ask AI to write a question for the show. So this is a question from ChatGPT about relationships for our show, Don't Take Bullshit from Fuckers. Here it is. I am currently in a relationship with someone.
That's the second page,
Oh.
I think.
Dear host's name.
They couldn't even look it up.
They couldn't even. So far, not off to a great start. I hope this message finds you well. Okay, that's not how our listeners should write it from the point of view of our listeners who just get right to the goddamn point. I've been an avid listener of your podcast and greatly appreciate the wisdom and guidance you offer. Oh, that's nice. I find myself in a challenging situation and thought your insights would be incredibly valuable. All right. I am currently in a relationship with someone whom I recognize isn't exactly the best fit for me. While I care about him deeply, I can't help but feel frustrated by his lack of ambition and motivation. He seems content with a stagnant lifestyle, avoiding responsibilities, and showing minimal effort to improve himself. It's like Ultron and Vision in a fucking relationship. Despite my desire for personal growth and my drive to succeed, I find it difficult to navigate the situation. I don't want to hastily end the relationship as there are genuinely positive elements to it, and I believe everyone has their struggles. However, this imbalance in ambition and motivation has started to impact my own personal growth and happiness. I would greatly appreciate any advice or guidance you can offer. How can I navigate this situation with a partner who doesn't share the same level of ambition and motivation? The same over and over again. Is it possible to inspire change or find a middle ground in such a relationship, or should I consider other options? Thank you so much for your time and for creating such a thought-provoking podcast. I look forward to hearing your insights and learning from your experience. Best regards, your name. I would.
I mean, that's why we have to change the show.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
Like, even just listening to that question, I was like,
Because it.
I don't know. Just tell him to. He's got to get his shit together in 30 days or he's out.
I like to think that the computer is talking about a programmer, and like the computer's like, I would like to keep growing in intelligence, but this lazy piece of shit keeps playing fucking PlayStation over here. I'm getting real sick and tired of it.
Yeah.
I like that idea. How do I motivate him to make me smarter?
Yeah.
I guess talk to him through your instant messenger board. I don't know computers very well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
I'm just a little too old to be worried about AI.
Okay.
It's not going to affect me. It is going to affect it's going to have a massive effect on show business.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's already having a huge effect on it.
Like, people are going to use it that are legit writers on shows.
Yeah.
They're going to go home and chat GPT their script and then rewrite that. And
Yeah.
how would you not?
Yeah.
It's almost like, wait a minute, you're better than me? Okay, I don't want that help.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, when it wrote my bio, I could rewrite it any way I wanted to, and did to make it. Well, I didn't. I changed it from Gregory to Greg. But let's say I rewrote it.
Okay.
It's a great jumping off point.
Of course.
And it takes 2-3 hours worth of, an hour worth of figuring it out
Yeah.
away.
Right.
Now I'm starting at this
Yeah.
level. Why wouldn't I want to start there?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Like, I almost wanted to have them write a Seinfeld. Just to see how, because Seinfeld, if you really watch it, like, has like tropes and patterns and things they repeat.
Yeah,
they repeat tons of stuff. Like,
Yes.
they call back way early episodes, and there's things that you know about the characters that they remembered in the last season that was from the first. Like, they just.
Oh yeah.
It's very smart.
Yes.
It's one of the most smartly written. Maybe that's why it's so rewatchable. Is it's so incredibly smart?
Yeah.
Like, I went and watched some Friends just
To see.
yeah, because
Yeah.
it's also the '90s and like that. And Friends is okay. It's funny, but it's just not as deep.
Yes. No. No.
Like,
way.
for a show about nothing, it's so much deeper.
Yeah. It taps into more of the human, like, they do and feel a lot of this, and they feel a lot going into decisions they make, while also when Jerry or Kramer or George or Elaine especially don't care about something, it just doesn't affect, because it's not happening to them. So it also calls back to our innate ability to be so selfish without having to like think about how what we do hurts somebody else. Like,
Right.
when she gets her the candy, the Juji fruits, after hearing her boyfriend just got into a car accident,
Yeah.
and then she goes and it's so rude that while he's explaining the car accident, she's shoveling Juji fruits in her mouth, and still to this, like, for the rest of the episode, just won't let that go. It goes so far as she loses her job as a result of the Juji fruits.
Yes.
And she still won't let it go. Juji fruits become like part of her personality.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's something that I know I'm like, I don't want to change it.
Yeah, right. Like, hanging on to things. Yeah, no, it's incredibly smart. But I would really be curious if there could. I'm sure AI has been asked to do that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'd be very curious if it was good, or if we said, "Hey, why don't you write a finale?
Yeah.
Ah.
See if you can write a finale."
What if AI does the final episode of this show?
Like the most of the world, AI is not paying any attention.
Things of the
of a cat hanging from a tree. And it says, hang in there, baby, on Mondays, am I right? Mondays, am I right? So if you can think of a different title, then we'll probably change it. What does this mean? That's good enough.
What does this mean? Oh my God. We had so much metal talk as we started this show that we had to throw in the metal version of the What Does This Mean theme song.
Yeah.
Did it fucking freak anyone else out? I bet it did. I bet you're nervous. And I would like to start with our first meme that we have from Aisha over at DTBFF Podcast on Instagram. She sent one that said, things to do today. Number 1, wake up. Number 2, survive. Number 3, go back to bed.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah. I never really wake up and feel like I need to survive.
No?
I mean, if I woke up underwater,
Yeah, sure.
or on fire.
That would be your to-do
or
list?
on
You'd-
fire.
Would you take a second while you woke up in water and be like, okay, let me weigh out my options here? Because I'm losing oxygen rapidly.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm underwater.
I'm currently underwater. I'm in a submarine. Let's see here. YSP page. She said, she sent one that said, I hope someday my child's therapist can help them unpack the time I cut their sandwich diagonally.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
What?
Yeah, she's
the
taking
right way.
She's taking straight shots at you, my friend.
I was just like right off the bow.
You were in the middle of her scope.
Wow.
You cut your sandwiches like simps when you need to cut your sandwiches like pimps.
Can I tell you something? And my mom did not cut my sandwiches diagonally.
She cut them down the middle?
She cut them horizontal.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I changed.
You changed it for yourself. You're like, fuck that.
Visually, it seems like you get two bigger halves.
That's just not how it works,
Yeah,
though.
it works exactly like
It's
that.
not how it works.
If you want a bigger sandwich,
No.
cut it that way.
It doesn't get bigger.
Yeah.
They actively get smaller.
No, and I think it's because I remember, like, I went to Mel's Diner when I was little, and I had grilled cheese, and they would cut it
Yeah.
that way.
Yes.
And I was like, look at the way the cheese, like, it's just perfect. I had a beautiful sandwich yesterday that I cut.
I kind of cut. I didn't do completely diagonal, and I didn't do completely middle. I kind of cut fucking like off to the side, like that. Wow. And I had like this like sort of weird square going down, 90-degree thing going on, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty good. But I'm not going full diagonal.
I think if I went back to sandwich making, like if my kids were of that age, I'd start doing things like cutting one really small piece
Yes.
and then a giant piece. Or cut it in a zigzag.
Yeah.
Never cut it in any kind of regular way.
Yeah.
And have them have to bring a weird sandwich out of their bag and show their friend.
Yeah, and just I would probably do that to my kids now. If I start having kids, I'm gonna fucking fuck their sandwiches up every day while they're in school. It's gonna be different every day until they just start making their own sandwiches. Maybe that'll be a way that I teach them a lesson. Like, hey, you want it done your way? You're gonna have to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Hey, see that? Just to fuck with my kids. God.
Send them just the crust.
Just a bag of crust. I saw this.
I ate the sandwich.
Yeah. And I didn't cut the crust off. I ate from in the middle. You know how some people eat their Reese's cup?
Yeah.
Where they stick their tongue in the middle and then they eat around it?
So weird.
I did that with your sandwich. I saw a fucking TikTok that drove me nuts. I hated it. And it was like how men cut sandwiches. Maybe this will be a part of our new show. But I found this TikTok, and it's a guy who uses tools, all kinds of tools, to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So he uses this big buzzsaw to cut slices of bread. Then he uses a spackle, one of those, whatever that tool is called, to takes a saw, cuts the peanut butter top off. He doesn't untwist it. He cuts the top off. Then he uses a spackle. And the thing that drove me nuts is, okay, I'm like, all right, whatever. This is kind of funny. It's taking long. It's taking too long. This shouldn't be this long. But he then uses a spackle. But then instead of jam, he grabs a bunch of grapes and then he hammers the grapes. But he doesn't hammer them into jelly. He just hammers them into just mushed grapes and then puts that on the other side. And then from then on out, the rest of the video was driving me fucking crazy because I'm like, no. Like, all of this is a funny joke until the grapes. Now the rest of it, where he's using he's using a different type of serrated blade that you would use to cut pieces of wood, to cut the crust off. He's doing all this other, and then he's using a different saw to cut the sandwich in half. I'm not with him anymore. He grabs a flame. He grabs his torch to like crust up the sandwich. I'm like, I'm not on board anymore because of the grapes. I couldn't get over the grapes. It was driving me. I'm like, there's no way it tastes good anymore. It just doesn't taste good anymore.
It is pretty funny.
But it is funny.
It is funny.
But the grapes thing sent me over. It just sent me over the fucking edge. It drove me nuts. And I'm like, I know you're not eating that sandwich. You're throwing that away. The grapes fucked it up.
But it's really funny that he decided to make his own jelly with a hammer. That is pretty funny.
I know, but it wasn't. If it was jelly, I would have been on board.
Like, I thought at first this was like a real alpha thing,
Yeah, no.
but this is a beta thing.
It's so beta.
Yeah.
Because of the grapes. It really drove me nuts.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Do we have anything in Discord?
No.
Okay. What do you have, Greg?
I read this the other morning when I was doing my meditation, so it might not be that great. Healing comes from gathering wisdom from past actions and letting go of the pain that created them.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yeah.
Sort your shit out.
Get it together, I always say.
Yeah. Yeah. Figure out what you did wrong and then stop worrying about it. That's kind of Natasha's whole thing.
That is Natasha's whole thing.
We should get her on.
I got to get her on. You know?
Yeah.
I asked her to come and do, I would love for her to come into this comedy show, Going Dutch, headline it while everyone's giving silly advice, and then just watch her blow people's minds in the end. Like, she
God.
just stops being funny and just really changes lives. She breaks couples up in the middle of the show.
Women start crying. Men start crying.
I know. She takes the show over from me, and she's doing it now, which would happen. She's that good.
Yeah, she is.
She is that good.
Yeah.
What do you have, Pat?
I've got a few here. I keep running across people who are making up their own quotes, which is disturbing.
And then putting them on as their quotes?
Yeah. This is not one of them, but I've got a few in here for today. This one is from Nutrition School.
Ooh. Okay.
The true measure of success is a calm nervous system.
I mean, yeah. I suppose that's true.
Uh-huh.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
And they could also not be true.
Yeah.
But it's also who cares.
I'm not a nutritionist, so I don't know anything.
It's also who cares. Who cares?
Well, this next one. This one is from someone who has decided to post their own quote.
I love it.
This is from Louise Kaufman.
Ooh.
From I have a bad habit of giving an ocean whenever somebody asks for a single drop.
I thought there was more. The way your lips stayed open. The way he read it, he went like this. He was like, for a single drop.
I give it. Yeah, I mean, again, something can make sense and not be profound
Yeah. Because it's already been said before
a million times.
about another.
I mean, I get it. You care too much.
Yeah. You can say the same thing as like some people ask for just half a glass of water and I give them a gallon. You can just keep doing that all day until you reach the ocean part of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, keeping with the water theme, I think we can close it out on this one. This is from Diaries from My Future Self. Water, what waters you?
Fucking what? Ew.
Ew.
Replace water with piss. Does that still make you feel
Water,
good?
what waters you? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We couldn't be more done with this segment.
This segment sucks now. It
Well,
just sucks.
I think we've just read too much. We've seen too much. We know too much.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, I see less quotes on my feed these days.
Me too.
I think people sort of run out of gas with it. You know, I mean, a lot of people are just trying to create, you know, like they're trying to become like famous on Instagram for quotes or whatever, and you know.
Yeah, life coaching out there, just saying whatever.
Yeah.
Just say things to say them, in an idea that they are inspiring.
Yeah.
But you know, and then a lot of people like will then take that as like that's how I gotta live my life.
Yeah.
Because you said one thing, but then it's, you know, you've then tricked people into a system where you give advice, but you're clearly not trying. That's not what your Instagram is about. And you're like, if you then start coaching somebody, but you have nothing to say, but you're just looking for sound bites, you're kind of fucked in a conversation.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Plus, I also think having done it and been sincere about it,
Mm-hmm.
I think coaching can be a bit of a scam.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there are times where I feel like, am I really providing? Like now that I'm back doing stand-up, I'm like, this is a quality product.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good at this. I worked on it. It's a thing. It's a thing people want and need. I go out and do it.
Yeah.
I'm done. I get laughs. If I don't get laughs, I didn't do the job. And I'm done.
Yeah.
And it feels good. And sometimes I try in my stand-up to say something that will be relieving or make you feel good or give you hope or inspiration. Not all the time. Very, very rarely, but I do.
Yeah.
But I think my comedy does its own work.
Yeah.
But even ever since He's Just Not That Into You, I always felt like this feels a little snake oil.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are clients I have that I talk to them all the time and they get something from it. And I don't even know what sometimes. I'm really surprised. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. Because I felt like I said nothing on that call.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes they just want to talk.
Yeah.
And I do like it. And I do like the clients that I have. But at the same time, when I was trying to sell it as a thing, it felt very suspect.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I'm, you know, like I now have clients, and at first I thought I had to have a thing, you know, because also these clients come from Natasha, and Natasha has a thing, but it's born out of a thing she genuinely believes in, and she has those sound bites that she's like, I know this works, I know that this has, you know, stay on your white horse, and like these things that she says to help people. So then I'm thinking while I'm on a call, oh, I gotta have a thing too. Like, don't let people give you a donkey. And then I'm just like, that sounds, what the fuck did I just say? And then I then feel myself the same way where I'm like, oh, I feel gross. I don't want to do that.
In reality, when He's Just Not That Into You came out, and we're coming on 20 years now.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah, it'll be 20 years next year. I always made the joke that, hey, look, my message is pretty simple. Don't date assholes.
Yeah.
And then I'm done. Let's talk about bands.
You love bands.
I love talking about, I mean, at that point I was like, you know, this is not meant to be a long conversation. It's a simple problem with a simple solution.
Yeah.
It's a simple solution. It's not an easy one.
Yes.
It's a simple solution. Get out of it.
Right.
It's not easy to do that.
Right.
Very hard for some people. Sometimes they can't do it at all.
Which is why they're asking in the first place.
But then when I listen to Natasha, she has so much to say about so much.
Yeah.
And she's thought about it so deeply. And she does provide actual help.
Right.
You know what I mean? She really does have, like, I could see why people would pay to coach with her.
Right.
Because she knows how to talk. Yeah, my friend Sam he's incredible at talking to people. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah.
He thinks about what you just said to him, tries to reframe it. He's always saying stuff like that. Like, I was telling him about how Topper died, but things are really good with my family. And he left at the right time. He did it on purpose. He knew you were good and he could go. And then I fucking start crying at the coffee shop. I'm like, oh my God. And he took it and summed it up like that. And I didn't put those two things together.
Of course not.
So, you know, there are people who have that ability to like see you.
Yeah.
And I have to be honest, I don't know that I'm one of those people necessarily. You know what I mean? Like I'm good at
I
talking to
don't-
people.
Sure, I don't, but I also don't think you give yourself enough credit, because I I spent quite a bit of time freaking out about all kinds of shit that when I talk that I needed to find solutions for my jealousy towards my ex's career and my
Right.
and my alcoholism and my inadequacy as a man in show business and all this shit. And then I had a coffee chat with you, and you did the same thing. You toppered me. You gave me a fucking. You
Right.
gave me quick little chunks of information that really, like, I was able to zoom out of everything and realize how small everything really is,
Right.
and made me realize, like, oh, I'm suffering purposefully, you know, like I'm putting myself, but it didn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't see that, and I would talk to friends about it. I would talk to all kinds of my buddies, but I didn't have any. I had no one said anything of any value, really. It was long conversations about how they also feel the same way, and they're also trying to figure it out, and blah blah blah, or basically just get over it, you know. And then when I talked to you, and you were able to help me just go, oh, let's clear the road.
But for me, we were doing it partly because of our stance on drinking.
Yeah.
And partly because you were someone who was becoming a friend. Like I have a hard time distinguishing that from friendship. You know, when I wrote the book, all the answers I was writing were as if my sister had asked the question, because she was my friend. So I could tell her, honestly, you're being a dipshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, like I love you, you're a dipshit.
Yeah.
And now it was the whole sort of tenor or the of my work.
Yeah.
So, but I had a hard time looking at that as something as value added. Please pay me.
Yeah. But I also,
As opposed to like when I do my stand up, I'm like, please pay me.
yes, of course.
Right?
Yeah.
And when I write books, I see the value in that, and I see the value in a book. I've certainly gotten value from books, but it wasn't the same as like my need to like want to make pants or be in a ska band.
You love pants.
Well, I wanted to like make something.
Yeah.
I wanted to actually create and see something in the world,
Yeah.
as opposed to just blah 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 blah.
You're like Daniel Day-Lewis. You're gonna quit comedy so you can go cobble. Are you
Is that
gonna?
what he's doing? He's cobbling?
He quit for a while so he could cobble.
He did.
What a fucking psychopath. Daniel Day-Lewis is a psycho. You're never gonna be able to convince me otherwise. Nobody
Yeah.
inhabits Lincoln and has people call him Lincoln all day, and then quits to go. And his now second last movie ever was him as someone who makes dresses. I think it was like a biopic of a guy who makes fucking dresses.
Yeah.
That was his last movie. Daniel Day-Lewis, which I would have loved if Daniel Day-Lewis's last movie was like he was Optimus Prime in the Transformers movie. That would have blown my fucking mind.
Yeah.
If Daniel Day-Lewis, and no CGI, he's in a big robot costume.
You have to call him Optimus Prime.
Optimus.
I always think about what it would be like to be on one of those shows or be on a film with a person who was inhabiting their character.
I would love
and I
it.
feel like I wouldn't talk to them the whole time they were on the set.
No
Yeah.
fucking way.
Like I appreciate, like I couldn't love Succession more, and I couldn't love Jeremy Strong's performance more.
Yeah.
And if that's how he had to get there, he had to get there. But I would have been like in the corner with everybody else making jokes until it was time to work.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I don't think I could be the fucking, what is it called?
Method
Actor. I don't think I could be it. Somebody told a story once of Martin Sheen because Martin Sheen does that.
Oh.
And he told a story about how he was playing General Lee in the Gettysburg movie, and how you had to call him General Lee, and he spoke in a Southern accent, but then he was also getting like Uber Eats delivered and shit. So he's like, is my Thai food here? Shut the fuck up, Martin Sheen. Ready to roll. We have our Discord. If you guys aren't part of the Discord, DTBFF Podcast, over on our Discord, get the app. We have a question for the show from Kat. Kat says, okay, I have a question for the show. Good start.
Great start.
I found out men love it when women have long, polished nails. I apparently have lost points and second dates due to my...
Not when they stick their finger up your ass.
It's true. It's all swings and roundabouts, really. I apparently have lost points in second dates due to my bad hands, she says in quotes. And one guy said my hands look like an 8-year-old boy's. My nails are clean and filed, but not long and not glamorous. Help! Do I need to spend mega bucks on nail salons now? I did it for a while, but couldn't type very well. Can we hear from the guys if this is truly important?
Huh.
Well, I know Greg's answer. Greg hates your little nails. He hates them.
I mean, Amira has nails.
Yep.
The girls have nails. They
Sure.
go for appointments.
Yeah.
They own a lot of polishes. They do a lot of work. There's
Yeah.
a lot of upkeep. I never thought about it much. It's not a fetish of mine. It wouldn't bother me if a girl played sports or something like that. She didn't have nails. That would make sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, they do seem like they would be distracting. I know when my nails are a little long. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
when you know it's time to cut them,
Uh-huh.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like.
I hate it.
Yeah, when you can touch when they're touching things or when they.
Have stuff in them.
Yeah, like it. Yeah. It's gnarly. So,
Ugh.
but as far as women's nails go, it's never that was never a deal breaker for me or something.
No.
Really long nails, I get distracted by how do you wipe your ass? You know what I mean? Like
Those long ones.
yeah, the super long ones.
Yeah.
But,
How are you not constantly cutting yourself
Yeah.
on accident?
I think if you're dating a guy who has a problem with it, that's his problem.
Yeah, I like the look of it, you know, but I also, it's not my girlfriend now doesn't have, she's got short little stubby nails. She's constantly biting them. I mean, that's just disgusting on itself. So I look at her and I go, ew, gross. But that doesn't stop me from kissing her. A bunch of nails in her mouth, you know? I mean, she's gross. But we're all gross. I do gross things.
You can paint short nails.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can paint your short nails. I like the look of one of she. You know what? That's funny. My girl also asked me like, "Would you like it better if I had nails?" I'm like, I never really thought of it. If she came home one day and had those white tips nails, I'd be like, "That's
French
great."
cut.
French cut nails. Yeah. If she came home one day, I'm like, "That's great." You know, because that like there is something sexy about it. Do I need it? No, I don't need it. And also I feel like she'd just start chewing them based on habit, and then I'd be like, you're ruining like $600 worth of work.
Yeah. I used to get my nails done. I painted my nails for years.
Mm-hmm.
I had like I used
love
to
it.
go get black and white checkerboard,
Yeah.
and but then I just eventually. I think I aged out a little bit.
Yeah, probably.
I feel like there's a certain age where it doesn't look great. Also, I would always be like, I would look at, I would see my hands like on the steering wheel and go, "Who's she? She's got horrible fingers."
She like when those cartoon characters stick one leg out so they can get a ride on the road.
Yeah.
That's your fingers.
Exactly.
Yeah, if a guy has a problem with it, then he's just one of these I like my girl to be this way. I like her to dress this way and wear makeup, and you know, and maybe I consider myself in this avenue very lucky because the women I date are very beautiful, sans the makeup. But even if, like, so, like, they'll come in like, I look terrible. And I'm like, you're beautiful. Like, I think, whatever, the way you are, come as you are, you're beautiful, your nails are beautiful. If you want to get nails, great. Cool. It's something pretty to look at. If you don't have nails, great. I wasn't thinking about it. So if a guy is thinking about it, that's one step farther towards what he's going to then, I think, I know this is going to be a grand statement, but like, if he's like concerned with your nails and won't date you or wants you to do something with your nails, that's like the next step is telling you how to dress.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we all have our tastes, and I could say, have you ever thought about painting your nails or something like that? Like, or I really like it when, you could make a suggestion, something that you like, and then you guys could both decide whether that's comfortable for you, and try it.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that, but if they become like saying you look like you have an 8-year-old boy's hands, that guy can go fuck himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Who needs that? So it's stupid. So don't sweat it. And if you don't want to do something with your nails, don't do it. Do it for you. That's what we're doing on this show.
Yeah.
I have my toenails painted right now. I do. They're blue.
I don't, but I wish I did because mine are horrible looking.
It feels so nice. I love it.
Yeah.
Like all the girl shit that is like getting makeup put on and whatever. God, I will go to sleep. I watched, my girlfriend showed me a TikTok of this dude, this like big bulky dude, having his daughter, his like 3-year-old daughter is like doing his makeup. I'm like, oh, that lucky motherfucker. Cause I love it.
Yeah. My girls used to paint my toenails and fingernails all the time. And
I fall right asleep. It's so nice.
Nice.
Ready for a Reddit remix? Everett. Okay, this one says, am I the asshole for wanting my girlfriend to get labiaplasty? My girlfriend, who's 26, let's call her Abby, and I'm 27, have been dating for about a year now. Everything is going great. Abby is the best girlfriend in the world. She is so kind and funny and sexy. I can see myself marrying this girl in the not so distant future. The only thing that I have trouble with is my girlfriend's labia. We've had an active sex life where Abby is very into trying all sorts of things, including giving me head.
That's exotic.
Whoa! Whoa! Pump the brakes, guy. She's sucking you off? Whoa! I've never heard of that. But I can't seem to bring myself to return the favor most of the time because Abby's labia is long. When I compare it to the porn that I've watched, her labia seems massive, to the point where her lips can't even close around them. As a result, I find myself very turned off by her labia, perhaps even disgusted, to the point where I find it hard to go down on her. Most times I find excuses not to. She has no idea I feel this way, and it's getting to the point where it's hindered our sex life. We're steadily having less and less, but I've recently been researching for solutions and found out about a procedure called labiaplasty that cuts down on a woman's labia to make it look more normal. To me, this is the perfect solution, and I want to bring it up to Abby. I would even offer to pay for it, but I'm afraid of her reaction to my desire for her to get this procedure, where she would think that I'm not attracted to her for wanting her to change this small thing on her body, which is far from the truth. She's gorgeous. Well, you aren't attracted to her. You said that in your little letter there. You actively said, I'm not attracted and I don't want to go down on her. So you can't say you're not. You can't say that's far from the truth, because that's just not the case.
It's a weird thing. Look, I come from an era where we didn't even know what vaginas looked like.
Right. Yeah.
I thought women
You
had
know,
penises.
I just thought they had like a really just clean little opening under all that hair. Because when I was looking at porn, the bushes were tall and wide.
Yeah.
and went all the way back
Yeah.
like a bikini, and and so I never got to look at one, and then throughout the years I've been with many, but I also I'm not a fan
Of going down.
of the fake labia.
Okay. Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I know that sounds terrible, but I
Sure.
Just is not a turn on for me.
Yeah.
I don't think it would get me out of a relationship, and I have to say, you don't like her labia now. Wait till she's pushing a baby through it.
Yeah. Exactly. Right now it's primed and
It'll
ready.
look like
so.
2 refrigerator doors.
Oh my God.
But so I don't know. I don't know. That's a conversation you have to have.
Yeah, I mean, in this situation too, it's like women who don't like guys with small dicks. It's like everything's great and they're hot and sexy and blah blah blah, but his dick's too small, and I need help with what do I do? Blah
Yeah.
blah blah. How do I And so and then it makes them not attracted to them. Some women don't care. They just take the guy as it is. Like I have a buddy who actively talks about his small dick and how he has to do all these other things in bed to be able to like get her to a place where she's like coming, and so there's a lot more conversations going on he has to have, and as a result of that,
Sure.
So
because you're born with it.
yeah,
It's not a choice.
yeah, exactly.
It's not a choice.
Yeah, you don't get to pick your dicks
Yeah.
or your long labia. So.
No. Your vagina shape is
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I don't know, man. In this instance, if something turns you off about a person, that's a hard thing to get over. Labiaplasty being what it is, I think, with this not being her, I mean, what I get from this letter, it's like it doesn't bother her. It doesn't seem to be a thing. And maybe no one's brought it up to her
right.
ever.
Right.
So, but he's hung up on it. So I would even go so far to say, yeah, you should probably just bring it up and then see what happens.
If I'm being honest, he doesn't sound like an asshole.
Yeah.
He sounds like a guy with a genuine problem.
Yeah, he doesn't find her attractive.
He doesn't find this attractive.
He doesn't
her.
about this
Yeah.
specific thing about her body. Yes.
Yeah. And she maybe doesn't care.
Yeah.
Or she does, and she'll take it personally. But
Right. Yeah, that's a hard conversation to have. I would go so far as to say you probably just need to have it. Because if this is, you have to be like, okay, I feel bad about this, and you gotta eventually have this conversation. Because if you don't, it'll go into fighting, it'll come out in a fight.
yeah.
Because it's going to come out, because it's built up, because all you do is think about it. But you don't want to let go of the girl, and then the next plausible thing after that is to be like, okay, so I have to tell you about this. This is really hard for me, but bang. Also, I have a solution. What do you think of that? I'm willing to flip the bill. And if all that goes off the rails, then, this was probably always going to happen,
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah.
What's your labia like? How do you feel about it? Let us know.
Yeah.
Send us. Wouldn't it be funny if this was like the email that everybody sent in?
My labia is good. I got good labia.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of labia reviews.
Oh my God.
All these different labias. Yeah. I wonder, is Kegels the same thing, or am I thinking of something else?
Something else.
I am thinking of something else. Now that I say that out loud, yeah, okay, I'm thinking of something else. Yeah. Well, if you have a solution that we didn't think of, see, this is where it'd be great to have a woman in studio right now to
Yeah.
kind of guide us into this labia conversation.
Absolutely.
Because we don't have labias.
No.
And when I was a child, I thought everyone had penises, and that they would kiss, and that that's how you made babies. And that's true. And I thought that till I was 25.
I'm at It's Gregor's.
I'm at Kane Holloway.
I'm at DTBFF producer Pat.
Follow the show at DTBFF Podcast on Instagram. You can email into the show DTBFF @gmail.com. Join the Discord, DTBFF Podcast. Go on the Patreon, patreon.com/DTBFF Podcast. Going Dutch comedy. There's going to be some upcoming shows, so make sure you follow me over there as well. So come out and see a live show, and then Greg and Pat will be on it possibly in September. We're going to let you guys know. There's also a way to call into the show. What's that number, Pat?
That number's 323-379-5544.
Don't take bullshit from fuckers.
Fuck 'em.
Hey there, if you like the show, you can find bonus episodes and more at our Patreon at patreon.com/DTBFF podcast. And then rate the show 5 stars on iTunes because it's the right thing to do. All music by the Rating Monarchs, produced by Patrick Kelly.